Parks Commission monthly meeting to order. Would you take the roll call, please, Katie?
Liz Lasky.
Here.
Karen Mao.
Here.
Lainey Razga.
Here.
John Beach.
Here.
Karen Peltola.
Here.
Tim O'Connor.
Present.
And Sean Warajewski. Absent?
Approval of the agenda, and I would add three things. I'd like to amend it to include under new business, the election of officers, Parks proposal form, and for new projects, and a draft of memorials. Tributes. Is there
Make a motion.
Second.
to approve as amended?
Yes, I got in there.
Has everybody had a chance to read the minutes of the last meeting, which was in May?
Yes.
Yep.
Is there a motion to accept the minutes as written, sent out?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written
Second.
for May.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Minutes approved as written. And the correspondence, I'm trying to think, I don't believe that there was any. It's been 2 months, and I don't think that there was any. I was thinking there was one, but I don't see it right now, so no correspondence, other than the one reminding us of the dog park thing that we received a little late, otherwise we would have been there. Committee reports, Morton Park's the first one. I believe that's all done, right, Jeff? I think we can take that off as, and everything was sent to the foundation as?
I haven't closed the grant yet, but the project, the entire project is completed.
Okay, and it looks nice. A lot of compliments on it. I think it was a very good project. We'll take that off our committee report. Unless someone has some other ideas to add to that. Capital improvements, John, anything?
We've not been meeting.
Okay. Plein air, Karen?
I understand that the county library is doing a plein air program. Their first one is in Onekama, and it's the 31st of July, and you have to pre-register. And so Angie registered me today because I didn't know about it. So we'll see how that goes, and I think it sounds like a great idea.
Perfect. Thank you for attending.
Absolutely.
Get some ideas, and maybe we don't need to do that. If they're
Exactly.
picking that up, I think we can
I
actually.
think that they are.
I'd say let them pick that up and
There you go.
drop that. Anything on budget or money, John?
Again, we have a meeting, but I would say on the plus side, on the city budget and priorities for the future, pickleball and bicycle trails has been included.
Thank you.
You know, that's just something that we.
That's a proposal on.
We actually budgeted seed money towards the pickleball with the thought of by the time we determine a location, design it, go through all the steps and processes, probably get a grant to support it, it's going to take some time. So we thought, let's start seeding money towards it, and then we can carry that money over in our capital improvement fund, add it to the next year's allocation. So when we get the project ready, we'll be able to fund it.
Perfect.
So that's the idea.
How much should we seed this year then? Was it 30 or
I
something?
thought I saw 30.
I thought I saw 32.
No,
First study.
there's 2 line items. I think it's like 80,000.
Oh, good.
I think there's 2 separate line items.
Well, that's good. Senior softball, Tim, and
We got Dan here, right, Dan? Right. So I have a meeting with them this coming Monday, 12 noon. We're going to go over CPR and defibrillation with them. We didn't really open it up to the public. They got 10 members that are going to attend. So
Okay.
we'll start with that. We're going to go over their CPR training, the use of a defibrillator. So that's scheduled for this Monday at 12 noon if anybody wants to come to that. So
so anybody from the parks could come.
Yeah.
From our.
we're going to do it at the Lions Pavilion. So
Okay, thank you for doing that.
Yes.
Perfect.
it'll be educational,
Yeah.
yet entertaining.
Yes.
I just want to
Sure it will.
add, if anybody wants to attend.
Okay,
Very cool.
12 noon at the Lions on
Yeah.
Monday. And down the road, I saw someone else was offering CPR too, in the paper or where.
The health department?
Yeah.
is doing it. Crazy money,
Yeah, they're
very
doing that.
expensive. I'm willing to do it for free.
Yes, and thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, story hour in the park. Karen and Lainey?
Well, we've had 3 of them.
Yes.
All were well attended. All were fun. Except for kids seem to enjoy it. Karen comes up with lots of creative ideas, and Angie from the library does the reading, so it's a good way to spend about an hour and a half.
Would you say it's pretty much been the same groups attending all of them, or just?
It's,
Some of the same faces.
some are the same kids, but then there's always a few different ones, and, you know, some grandmas with grandkids and.
And
This-
some just stumble upon us too as they're going through the park.
They're going through the park?
Yeah.
That-
It has worked getting in people into different parks. We had the one at Regmark, and we had the North Access today. And that was just a gorgeous day to be on the North
Oh,
Access.
for sure.
So that getting people into different parks has really, I believe, worked well. So, and the library's been great to work
Oh,
with.
the advertisement's been phenomenal.
All right, all that,
Nice job, making us look good.
It's-
all that ink.
And the kids are so darn cute at that. Makes it fun.
yeah.
They're good. Okay,
Right.
good job.
Oh, and can I just say the next one is August 1st, and it's at First Street Beach with a sandcastle building theme, so. Anybody, is anybody gonna be there? for
By
that
the
one?
sandcastle building?
Yep,
Yes.
we're gonna do sandcastle building on the beach.
Little ones,
First
not-
time.
Between the two
Oh,
piers.
Not
I
big.
thought you were talking about a structure that was there,
Oh, no.
and that's where it was located. I gotcha.
No, they're gonna build sandcastles on the beach.
Is anybody gonna be there?
I'm gonna try to be there,
I
but
have planned.
I cannot. I will be out of town.
Okay, cool.
who are you doing it with?
But they've
I don't-
been
I
good,
didn't
and we've
know.
had the support of the parks. We've had many
Anybody
commissioners at
Claimed it, but
most of them.
I
So,
can do it.
okay, park reports.
Did it?
Tim, the first one, anything to report?
So just to kind of, Fifth Avenue, obviously the basketball hoop is still down. Do you know where we're at with that? I mean,
The what?
Ordering a new backboard for the tennis courts for the basketball.
We were denied the grant by the Community Foundation.
How much do you think that would cost to get that fixed? Do you have any ballpark figure?
Yeah, I have a quote for $6,600.
Really, for a new hoop? Is that the pole?
Well,
and
I'm
everything?
sorry. I'm sorry. I think it was 4,600. It was about a $6,000 project when we included the labor and materials, but it's about $4,600
That's
to
expensive.
purchase.
That's great.
Their reasoning was that they would, honestly, I was a little frustrated by it because they've encouraged us to apply for the $5,000 and less grants.
Right.
And they've told us year after year that we can get one of those a year. I thought this was absolutely perfect.
I did too.
But what it came down to was they wanted to fund a larger improvement and a larger part of something. And they were a little bit worried that because we're in the middle of master planning the beaches, they didn't want to fund a new improvement that may not fit with the new
I
plan.
understand that.
So,
Except those are movable hoops. Yeah. I agree. I'm with you, Jeff.
And a master plan can take years.
Exactly.
I mean, we're talking 5, 10, 15 years.
And it's a plan, not a
So-
guaranteed implementation.
Yes.
So what's the plan now?
Try to do a fundraiser, raise
I
money.
mean, do we have a plan? No, we don't have a plan.
Now in the right place.
I had, the best thing I can offer now is when I get through our operating year and I get into April, May-ish, and I look to see if we've got operating funds left over that I could expend on something like that, then we could order it and put it in ourselves. But I'm not gonna spend that. I didn't plan on it
Right.
as a line item, so I don't wanna take away from other things. But I'll monitor things, and if we can fit it in, we'll fit it in.
Okay, cool.
And if not, and when the master plans are done, then we can maybe make it a part of a larger project.
Canopy that came down, plans of getting that back up, the red canopy that came down.
Yeah, it tore, and so Sinclair believes that that's under warranty.
Good.
So we're waiting on the new one to be delivered, and I don't have 100% that we don't have to pay for it, but we're just waiting on the new one to come.
Okay. Other than Fifth Avenue Beach, nice job on you and your crew taking care of that beach. Beautiful. I mean, I've never seen it so pristine. I mean, I just went and visited it today, so it's a nice looking beach. In fact, I'm surprised, quite frankly, that First Street got beach, because you sit on Fifth Avenue and you look down the coast, and it's just absolutely beautiful. So, we'll have to vote for that next year.
You know, I've actually thought about that myself, and honestly, I think First Street Beach, the vast size of that, it's over 40 acres, and there's so many different recreational things that
Yeah.
complement the whole park,
So they put it all together, basically. What
in my mind, yeah.
course, on Fifth Avenue. So, but it's just, the beach has been looking great. A lot of compliments on that. So thank you guys for doing that.
Yeah.
Duffy, 4 of the soccer ball nets are down. We only have 2 that are up. Do we have replacements for those at all?
Those are the MRAs,
Oh, so they take care of that. That's their
Yes.
responsibility
Yes.
to do that?
but we can make a note of that to them.
Yeah, only two have nets. The other 4 had nothing in them. Other than that, nice job cleaning up that pavilion. And so the idea of the refreshments coming in there kind of went away. They couldn't get a vendor.
Well, I think, when the MRA approached us, I believe their plan was to do it kind of their spring soccer. I haven't heard anything in a while.
I haven't been inside there. Is it set up? Does it have sinks? It has things that could be set up as a vendor to accommodate all that?
It doesn't have a lot of equipment, but it does have the sink and so forth. I haven't been in there in a long time.
Popcorn machine?
Kind of looked through the window a little bit, but I mean, it seems it's there.
It's
but-
basic, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty basic. So it'd be nice to see that up and running when there is so many people that utilize that park, you know, between the baseball field and the soccer fields. I mean, it'd be nice if we could find something on a weekend where somebody could open it up, hot chocolate, popcorn, just basic stuff.
Yeah, and as you were just saying that, it made me think of like the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. They're always looking for little fundraisers. Maybe, you know, when you started talking about that, to me, that little space reminds me of the one at Manistee High School. It's just a small space, not much there, but they serve all the stuff. You know what I mean? It comes in a box. They serve you in a slice.
Kind of like at the football.
Love that.
Kind of the same thing, but yeah, maybe we should just spread the word out that if there's a group that's willing to do it, if you guys have ever been down there on a Saturday in the spring, I mean, there's hundreds of people. And then early summer up until July, there's baseball every evening and.
I have an idea. I know the senior class at the high school is always looking for ways to make money
Sure.
for their, what do they call it, grad bash?
Grad Bash,
I
yeah,
could ask if they want to
yeah.
do something
Oh,
like
that
that.
would be cool.
So that is something that the Parks Commission can look into as far as getting that up and running and getting volunteer groups to be willing to take it over. And
To me, it's a asset, it's an underutilized asset,
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take that on as a project, try to get that spearheaded and get that going, because for 2025. So, obviously, we're a
Spring
little
of
late going into
2025.
this year already. so-
All right.
But I would like to see that up and running. It's the perfect location. We just figure out basically what they need.
Yeah, and I don't think it's not enough to do a commercial operation, but to
No.
me, if you've got a little nonprofit or a senior class or something like that, that seems easy. You bring in a coffee pot, you make some hot chocolate, yeah, I
And
mean,
if the same group did it, you could allow them to even keep some of their supplies in there, and they, you know, if they didn't sell the candy bars this week, they could sell
Exactly,
next week.
exactly.
So it would be kind of nice to have a carryover, that you got it for most of the season or a month or something, so that you could sell your,
Tim, I'll work on
Where?
that with you if you want to.
Okay, yeah, be good. Maybe sometime, Jeff, we can go over there and just take a look at it.
Sure.
See what they got
Sure.
exactly, to be able to explain it. Merrick,
Samaric.
Park looks good. Jeff got the light up and running for the flag, so we're all running there. Park looks good, looks clean. Picnic tables there.
Yeah, we were looking at it this week, actually, for that parking area that I talked about. I want to make sure, I need to get with somebody who plays and understands the disc golf, because I don't want to put anything in the middle that's going to disrupt one of the holes.
True.
But Brandon and I went through there, and we think we got an idea of how they lay out and how it's played. And I'm thinking about just a little gravel pad, not thick, not paved, just a little bit of gravel pad, because it just, the visuals
Yeah, it
makes you
designates
think,
the area.
this is
Yes.
where I park. And make it big enough for 5, 6 cars. And then if we still have, and then probably move that porta potty up towards it. And then if we still have people that are driving beyond that, then we'll install some of those pilings and try to restrict it a little bit, but.
Do you know the reasonings why the art fair went away there at the park?
Only what social media had said and what I had, and some of the organizers, actually I did talk to one of the organizers. I think they were just aging out of it and wanted to pass it on. Did you know more than that? Is that kind of it?
Basically what I was told, one of my friends sat on the board, and they're all getting older, and there was nobody younger to take it over, and they just didn't want to do it anymore.
So that was the location. I mean, I remember going there as a kid. There's nowhere to park. The setup is amazing,
Yes.
but there was nowhere to park.
Yeah.
And so I think that when the new group, so if that goes back there, you have permission to park in Linda's driveway and,
It's really funny.
But-
It's that one time of the year.
Yeah.
That as a homeowner on 4th Avenue, you just put up with it.
yeah.
You know, and just kind of like,
Yeah.
kind of miss that a little bit.
So,
you know?
but when they announced that they were kind of ceasing operation, then there were some other people that kind of took it over, and then they just picked out a new venue, I guess, so.
So is that something that the Parks Commission could sponsor, an art fair event and kind of like spearhead that effort and bring it back?
My suggestion would be to talk to some of those people that sat on that board. My friend was on it for a long time, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot to pull together.
Sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I wouldn't say no, but I would do your research first.
Yeah, and if you wanted to talk, because I know Lasting Impressions is my friend, Carolyn and Ken Litter, and they both sat on that board for a lot of years, so they would have a lot of insight to tell you, you know, the do's and don'ts and ins and outs and everything.
And the foundation is there to make it happen.
Yes, it is.
You just need to bring the youth into it, people with that,
Right. We need
again,
some
start it
blood.
and going.
Yes.
I just hate to see, I mean, I missed it, having been, you know, living over on the north side. It's just a tradition.
It is.
And people look forward to it, and people still come up and they still ask about it, why we're not doing it. And I'm like, oh, if we could reconnect with some of those people and then maybe look at putting something together, and then if we can get commitments from people to revitalize the board a little bit and, like you said, get some energy back into it. I understand, honestly, when you start working on something for so long,
Yeah.
you start losing the energy and you start losing the drive because what a commitment it takes. But I think
Well-
if we get people hopefully that step up, we can revitalize that. It would be awesome.
So just as maybe a parallel to kind of get you thinking that way, you know, the Sleigh Bell Parade is really kind of the same thing, right? When you run one of those fairs, you're soliciting and you're renting out spaces, and you've got to organize that. You've got to get agreements, contracts, and all that. It's no different than having a place in the parade, and so, and that's a committee that works year-round on it. I can say that the former committee was extremely respectful to that park.
Yes.
Extremely appreciative to my staff. They always made a donation so that the guys got a pizza party after the 4th of July. And they always, I believe, contributed something towards, like funds towards the parks. They were very, very wonderful to work with.
Maybe I can connect with you and try to revitalize that a little bit. I'd like to see that come back.
The other thing that I would point out, I used to be the co-chair of the Forest Festival for many years, and then there was a committee of 20 people. If you had a big event that you were putting on, you were welcomed into the committee, and the committee would meet, and so the committee was always trying to say, well, we got all this stuff at First Street, let's get something on the north side, and let's spread it out a little bit. Right now, the chamber runs the Forest Festival, but they really manage 4 or 5 of the events: the parade, the fireworks, the carnival, and the flea market at First Street. The rest of those events all are organized by individuals and groups, and they do their own special event requests to the city. And then I believe for a fee, then the chamber will promote it and include it in the festival brochure and listings and stuff. So I've had a lot of people ask me about that. Well, why don't they bring back this? Why don't they have that? And it's really people creating events, people creating things, and then making it a part of the festival.
They do. I mean, that's how everything works for the most part. If you don't have the interest of a body taking it on, it's not going to exist. It won't happen. So.
Well, it's not like you can tell the chamber we want another
Yeah.
this.
You got people dedicated.
You got to have people that are willing to do it, willing to organize it, and And then absolutely, we welcome you. There's some things that you can do to pay for events, like, you know, a or a logging competition or something like that.
Yeah.
But a lot of those things are all volunteer driven and,
But take someone to spearhead it and make it happen.
yes,
You know, to push it.
it takes a champion.
Can I ask you very quick, was it a very profitable event?
I believe so, because when they disbanded, they divvied up their money, I think 8 different organizations in town, and the rec got $1,000. And my guess would be that they must have had 8,000 in their coffers to distribute like that.
Yeah, it's such a money source for us too. If we were to assume something like that and, you know, bring that back to Manistee and the Parks Commission, because, I mean, it would make sense. It's a park, you know, and it's one of our entities. So I would love to hook up with you, Jeff, and then just try to revitalize that for maybe 2025, so.
Your energy.
But it's just a matter of getting hold of the right people and making it happen. So, and you guys, I would respect you and all your expertise of what they've all done in the past, and hopefully they just bring it to us if we're willing to help, you know, get some people. And find out how many people would be needed, you know, to make it happen, so.
I can ask Carolyn how many she had on her board. I don't know too much about that board, but I can
Okay.
talk to her and.
Well, you might want to reach out to the people who did it this year.
Yes, I wondered that too. I wondered if,
Yeah.
and how is the economy still the same? Did those people, I watched a lot of them packing up, and I didn't want to ask, but I wonder how much they made. I mean, you know, that determines whether they want to come back or not. And maybe there was a difference in parks. I don't know how well I got there at the tail end, if it was well attended, and did they make money this year? I don't
And
know.
I like what Jeff said. You got to bring something unique to it. You know, it's gotta be, you gotta bring some type of new activity to it that would bring out people, that changes things up a little bit. So, great. I look forward to working with you. One other question, Jeff. You guys fixed the flagpole at Fifth Avenue Beach, which is nice. Any way we can get the city flag flown over on that flagpole?
That's the only one that I'm aware of right now. Yeah. Rotary started to reproduce those, and they were small, but Rotary's.
You know where we can order that? No? No?
I did do some research after we discussed it a couple meetings ago.
You guys all knew we had
There
a
are-
city flag?
You want me to hold it up? Has everybody seen it?
No, I'd love to see.
Still have it.
It's
been around for a very long time.
even Bill, their city manager, wasn't aware.
Oh, is that it with the big M on it already? Okay.
There are companies that
Oh.
can produce these very, very inexpensively, and create vinyl ones, and
Nice.
so I think, you know.
It
we
looks
could
like the
find some
water
of
and
that.
Lighthouse.
the lighthouse beam and, yeah, I like that.
Be very appropriate for
Right.
Avenue Beach on the antique.
Cool.
I bet that's 25 years.
Yeah.
Oh, is it really?
Really? That came out?
Oh, yeah. I bought one. I had 2.
Yeah.
No kidding. Okay.
Mine didn't have the fringe. They didn't all have the fringe. The ones that they sold to the public, the Rotary did not have the fringe. It was just plain.
Correct.
I'm
Correct.
even interested.
The fringe is more
That was a
ceremonial.
special one.
Yes.
I wasn't even interested in going before the city council and even, because obviously the city of Manistee has its own new logo.
Yes.
That you guys all have, which should be more appropriate for a city flag, you know, to be honest with you, to identify.
So we did have some discussions internally, and I literally looked them up and thought, this would be really cool. And then did Bill email you about this one? So okay. And then he learned that we actually had one, but I think with the new branding, I think we could create a new city flag.
Yes.
That plays with the current branding, and
How would we do that? Go before the city council and make a motion?
I think we would get a proof, like we could go to one of these vendors, have them develop a proof and a cost estimate, and then we could go to city council and say, we're proposing this as our new flag, and we'd like to order some and put them in various locations, and
Can we do that?
yeah,
Okay.
that doesn't take that much. When we did the banner, it's really no different. The technology's so improved now. When we did those new banners down at First Street, I think it was last spring, I just went into all the logo. There's a big file with all the different logo stuff, but they had a sample of a banner, and I went, okay, well, let's just take that because somebody really talented created that, and I said, just change this and change that so we can read it better, and Katie emailed it to the company, and a day later, boom, what do you think? One more change, and they're like, boom, here's a cost estimate, and we had it within 3 weeks. I mean,
I'd like to work on that.
Yeah.
So if anybody else wants to work with me on that and work with Jeff.
I can work with you, yeah.
Can the Parks Department have their own logo? That would be my
Well,
question.
typically, the city flag would have the Parks Department underneath it. So you would still utilize the city logo, which is the city logo.
Right.
And then you would just incorporate Manistee Parks Commission on the flag itself.
Because I remember, and I participated in it, when we went through the rebranding, the intent of it or the conclusion of it was, let's take the city logo and let's use that. Let's not trademark it. We want everybody to slap it on a t-shirt and a sweatshirt and a hat. And so we sent all the digital package to everybody who makes t-shirts and stuff. So we want people to copy it. We want that to be recognized and get out there. But also, they had various different, you can use it this way, and you can use it this way, and you can use it this way. And so when we did the entrance signs into the city, it's not the same as what's on the water tower, not the same as what's on the trucks or the badges on the police and fire, but they all kind of keep consistent with that. And what that recommendation also included was if you had signage, flags, banners, whatever, for things that involve the waterway, they could be a color, the overall background of it. And then if you did parks, it could be a different color. And if it was commercial, it could be a little, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you could kind of differentiate different points of interest kind of by those color schemes. And none of that really has been implemented. I mean, I just did the blue down at First Street Beach because blue's kind of that color theme down there. But yeah.
That'd be fun.
Jim, I want to clarify one thing. The flagpole you refer to, is it empty at this point?
Yeah.
It's not playing American flag or anything?
No, they got an American flag at the Coast Guard right across the street. So it seemed kind of redundant to do two American flags when they do theirs very well. And honestly, for our parks, it'd be nice to have a city park flag, Manistee City. I mean, most places you could put an American flag and a city flag, but they typically go together. The American flag with the city flag underneath it.
So that's the point I want to address, that in compliance with the United States Flag Code,
Yes.
no, the flag is supposed to share the same.
With
flagpole,
the United States.
Oh,
with the
okay.
exception of the POW MIA flag.
Oh, good to know.
Good to know, yeah, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
then, good, thank you.
Can-
You want to?
And the only place that occurs is down at First Street on the large flag.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Can I bring up something? I've kind of been sketching around with some Manistee Park logos. Can I present something at the next meeting on behalf of this commission? Can we look at some of that?
Of course. Of course,
Okay,
thank you.
okay, no issues at all. I thought I had it here with me, but I can't find it, so.
Any ideas are always
Can
welcome.
I just say something about Duffy and Red Generic? Because you're talking about both of those,
I
right?
guess.
Did you notice that?
I'll talk about your parks.
Something in your parks.
Oh, okay.
Did you notice that the two swing sets have been painted because John and Liz and
Yes.
I, in June, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, because it's blue now, and the other one was gonna be red, but the red didn't work out.
Both
so
your,
it's
both your
also
parks
blue.
we improved.
So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.
Yes, improvements to your parks, we have.
But honestly, though, I do give kudos to Jeff and his crew, though. You guys it's a nice change. I don't know what, you got more people or what the deal is, but it's just really,
Adding going from 2 full-time employees to 3, and then the way that we're managing those employees, I think Brandon organizes them very, very well. And we've gotten a lot of production out of those 3 employees, but a lot more production out of the summer kids just by keeping them organized.
awesome.
And in fairness to Mickey, I'm not putting Mickey down, but Brandon already does that. Like he and I were just talking about this yesterday. He's my traffic cop in the street department, literally. I mean, he's directing people all the time. Okay, we're done with this. What do we do next? Go here, go there. And then I prioritize it, he implements it, and the guys get it done. We're able to do that in the parks because he's not in the parks doing the work. Where Mickey was only 1 of 2 people. you know what I'm saying? So when Mickey was that guy, he
could
didn't have
oversee.
time to
And
be
kids.
back directing the traffic because he was busy.
So are you saying that Brandon is not one of the 3 full-time parks and?
Correct,
So you've got Brandon directing the 3 full-time.
correct.
And that's huge.
So you've really picked up 2 full-time employees for the parks.
Yeah.
And at least 1.5, yes, yeah.
And that's huge. That's,
That- And as a full-time equivalent, yes.
Yeah.
It's made a difference.
Equivalent,
it has made
FT.
a big difference.
Yeah.
Everybody's noticing.
Well, and I mean,
I'm telling you.
you guys, right now we just counted them a couple hours ago. There's 42 people working for Public Works right now with all our summer staff. And that sounds like a huge number, but when you think of all the departments, you've got the water department, you've got the sewer department, you've got parks, you've got 6 bridge tenders that you peel away, you got a mechanic, you know what I mean? When you peel them away, they're really small pockets of individuals that are doing a lot. That can't happen in silos. So there has to be a water guy that goes and helps the parks guy, and there has to be, somebody from the street department that's down clearing sand off the parking lots at the beaches. So we interchange on a daily basis, and all right, who's here? Who do we have? Grab that piece of equipment. Here's the priority, and we go. And so also Brandon in that position has really bridged the communication gap between those departments. So it's really blending a lot better. And I honestly appreciate that you noticed that.
Well, the outcome is when those parks look like they're
Yeah.
they are so utilized. When you go for, and I've said that every month, but you go for a ride, those parks are used like they've never been used. And the flip side of that is it probably takes more maintenance, but everybody is enjoying using the nice looking parks.
Yep.
It's like, and we all did our
Makes
inspections.
us look good.
Yeah, we did our inspections. People are using them for just like reading or having coffee. They're going there by themselves, or you see a group of kids, but it's not, it's neat to see.
Yeah.
Linda?
Well, I live with the neighborhood watch. He noticed right away that Regiment Park is cleaned up and being used more often. And he's excited. And if you build him a parking lot over there, he will, I don't know, he'll buy coffee every day. Because he watches those cars go in,
Yeah.
the dogs get out, the dogs get in and they drive away. Nobody cleans nothing up, and that is insides out.
Yeah, and the concern is that we just don't want any hanky-panky in the back.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that there's that, because they're all people my age.
I'm not saying what kind of hanky-panky, but there's always cars parked back there, and it's starting to rut it up, and so we just want to kind of encourage people to stay closer to the Monroe Street.
Yeah, and use the park for what it's meant to be.
Right,
Yeah.
Park.
For dogs and not for drugs or hanky or nothing back there.
yeah.
Can I add one more thing? And then I'm done. Fifth Avenue Beach, those red chairs that were put in, they have a long cable, and I've seen people trip over the cable.
Somebody else brought that up to me.
Yeah, the cable is hidden in the sand, and sometimes the way the sand goes over the cables, I've seen kids trip. It's just a concern for me. It's a long cable.
Maybe short.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, I don't know if you, but
If we add more chairs, would that remedy that?
yeah, more chairs would be good, but it's considerably long. So I just seen people.
Thank you.
I actually witnessed it myself. I'm like, oof.
And the people moved the chairs less than I thought that they would. They're kind of staying where you place them. I was,
Well, they get moved every day because we
Okay.
laid it out for many more chairs.
okay.
Did we pick up the 4 today? 4 more just were purchased,
Wow.
But yeah,
but I think they're going to First Street.
street.
Yeah. But it'll pick up at Fifth Avenue. I've already passed on information to several people that inquired.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
But we'll do something,
The cable.
well, I think we can anchor it down and recess it better. So I made a note of
I'll
that.
have 2 extra chairs.
Okay,
that
I'm
can
done.
go to
moving
Fifth
on.
Avenue.
Sean is in here, so Laney, 9th Street Boat Launch, Mac.
Okay, 9th Street Boat Launch, where do I begin?
It's so pretty.
So, it's been heavily utilized with this heat, people swimming, grandmas, babies, and it's really not a beach. So,
No.
we gotta fix it for the people who live here. And when are we gonna get started? The boat launch, it's got that concrete thing, and there's a big drop off after that. So it'd almost be better if that concrete thing was gone. the dock goes like this and then like that into the water. And then there's that metal bar that other floating dock used to be on. Come on, Jeff, we gotta do something there. Just a little bit, it's being really used. Just some little things. I mean, don't cut off the tree limb that the kids have their swing on to go into the water. I mean, it's kind of like a Norman Rockwell thing when you go down there, honest. And I guess I'm wondering, just long term, who owns that property to the south? Because it's just overgrown, fenced in, there's that building there. If there was a way to maybe expand that area even, because those people who live in that area of town really need it, you know, and it's just, and you know, I was thinking about the bathroom thing too. So that one porta potty that they burned, people were very angry. It hadn't been cleaned, it isn't taken care of. I went to Mac Park, you know, their porta potty's fine. It's cleaned and everything. That one I don't think had been touched in 3 years. It was overflowing with waste. So yeah, people were not happy, and I think that's part of it. So why are we utilizing a vendor for porta potties that tells us where he's gonna put them? I have a problem with that. It really needs, because I'm sure people are just peeing in the bushes or whatever, because there's no place to go. Okay, now I'm done. At 9th Street.
The property to the south of the 9th Street right-of-way is privately owned, it's owned commercial. I know of at least one use that they were trying to get in there, which was an asphalt plant.
Yeah.
Hot mix asphalt plant.
Right, which would be a shame.
Haven't heard of anything on that in a little bit. The original dock that was there, we've tried to dismantle that as much as we can, but we would have to get some very big equipment to get in there to remove that, because it was installed with very big, heavy equipment and they're deep pilings. The porta potty, all the porta potties in the city get cleaned on the same regular basis. All of them do.
Maybe now.
It's the same company.
Right.
And
Right.
that one, they had so much vandalism and damage before it burned, that they were asking us to get rid of it, asking us to pull it, asking us to purchase it ourselves, and they would clean it and maintain it, but they didn't want to risk the value of the damage. I was trying to get a light installed there at the time, and he said, I'm willing to hold off before I pull it. If the light makes it better, then okay. And then they set it on fire, and I mean, that was a custom porta-john that was there because it was
ADA?
No, it was more heavy duty than the normal ones, but it's not visible. It's not regularly patrolled. It's just.
Well, I think there hasn't been one there, what, 5 years?
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
4 or
so
5.
I think back then, they weren't doing as good a job taking care of those porta potties. You know, they weren't. We've gotten after them. And I can tell you, they were overflowing. So that's why people, I mean, granted, they were vandalized, I can't deny that, but they also were not well cared for, and they were neglected. And I think that had something to do with it. You know, you have a picnic table down there, you have a garbage can, that stuff is being okay. There's a rope swing, nobody's doing anything with that. So it seems like maybe because it's being used more by younger people or something. I don't know, but it's probably used.
Well,
I mean, there's nothing there. And
we'll call them again and see if we can
yeah.
see if the attitudes have changed and where they
See what
forgot.
they say. Try it.
We'll
you
try.
know? So
The neighborhood might have changed too,
yeah.
so maybe.
Is there an overhead light there, like a street light that illuminates that area?
Not really.
It's kind of hidden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember one, yeah, it seems.
I wonder if you
I
could get a light in there. through
I
DTE.
thought there was, but I can't commit to that.
Yeah.
It's been years since I've been down there at night.
That kind of
Many
thwarts a
years.
lot of action, bad action.
So, Mac Park looks good, but I did notice that group you said was gonna get in there to paint hasn't done anything yet. So, and the bathroom was nice, the
They-
water worked.
They did say where were we at? They did say they did the benches, but not the playground equipment.
Okay, yeah. And I did Reed's Park, Reed's Park looks good. It's funny though, the bathrooms, like the sinks and toilets are beautiful, but it's like you look up and,
Toilet
there's,
paper.
well, no, it's like spider webs and the floor isn't swept and stuff. So it's like, the sinks and toilets are beautiful, the mirrors are clean, everything's like that, except for you maybe hit the, once a month, get the cobwebs out of the corners and the floor swept or something. I don't know what that's about, but the rest look good. I mean, it could probably use a nice freshening up the bathrooms. And, that's it. Thanks.
I think we deep cleaned that one last winter, but the kids tend to gather sticks and leaves and set fires in there.
Oh, well, they could just gather them up the floor.
I'm not joking.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of leaves and sticks. I think, the
Oh,
wind blows it.
yeah.
Yeah, in, because there's a
Yeah,
lot
and
of trees there.
those are cleaned daily.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell. I mean, they were clean, but for some reason the floor didn't look like, well, maybe, I don't know. I don't think it's used that much unless there's a ball game, so.
Karen?
Oh, yes, okay. So I just went out today with my kids playing at the parks, and Lighthouse Park, it's beautiful. I mean, I counted 18 people playing on the playground at one time when I had my two kids there. There were 3 adults and the rest were all kids. There were 6 people on the picnic tables having a picnic in addition to those 18. There were 5 picnicking up on the little hill right next to it to the north. There were 2 on the disc golf course. There were 5 bikes on the bike rack. And it was just beautiful. I mean, it was like you say, Norman Rockwell. It was just picturesque, perfect, and the playground looked great. I talked to a family visiting from Saginaw. They had 2 little kids there. They're staying at the Hampton, and they, quote, were amazed that there was a hotel in what looks like the middle of a park. And they couldn't believe their luck finding this place, because they came from Saginaw and never been here before.
That is cute as hell.
So they biked around First Street Beach. They spent time on the beach, and then they went to Lighthouse Park. The ice cream truck came, and all the kids ran out and got ice cream. It was beautiful. And she said she's from Saginaw. They couldn't believe how well kept our parks are. She said they're all beautiful and they're so well kept.
Wow.
And I said I would pass that along because she said, I don't know, she kind of initially said, well, we're from Saginaw. So, and your parks are gorgeous. So that was good feedback.
Good.
And then we went over to Little Rocket Park, I've been calling it. And the funny part about that is we told the kids at Lighthouse Park where we were going, and they knew immediately where that was by calling it Little Rocket Park. The little kid just jumped out, I know exactly where that is. That's over, and she explained, it's by the basketball court behind the hotel. And I said, yeah, it's Little Rocket Park. So it looks actually really nice without the sign there, the one that you took down that was old. And it actually, to me, it feels more like a part of the whole First Street Beach
Yeah.
entity without having to be its own separate named everything different. So,
Right.
but yeah, the kids knew it just by that description. So, and that looked spectacular. I mean, everything is clean there. It's gorgeous. No comments at all. But where else did I go? I went to Big Rocket Park, the old one, and it's such a fun, nostalgic park. Kids we had here from New Mexico over the 4th, they loved it. They loved the old big rocket. I mean, you just don't see them like that anymore. And the
Right.
4-person teeter-totter thing, that was such a
Wait
hit.
till next
I've never seen those anywhere other than here. But they loved it, the adults too. The only thing we noticed is there's one of the springs under that 4-man teeter-totter isn't bolted in. Like there's the 4 big springs underneath, one under each arm, and The one facing the beach is missing the 2 bolts. Made it more fun, actually, because you bounce higher. I don't know if that's
Like a safety issue, yeah.
I think it would be worth it to re-bolt it rather than think, get rid of it, because it's
Right.
so much fun. And then the lady at Lighthouse Park said, do you remember when the Big Rocket Park had a drinking fountain that was the head of a lion? Do you remember this?
I
And
do.
you had to put your head in the mouth of the lion.
You had to put your head in the
drink.
mouth.
It was really big.
Oh, is that cute?
I had totally forgotten about that until she mentioned it, so it's so nostalgic.
There was a
So fun.
hippopotamus too.
That's cute too. Do they still make them?
If they do, we should get that back.
I haven't thought about that
Yeah.
I probably haven't thought about that in
I know.
30 years, but yes,
Vision, I can
absolutely.
recall now
Oh,
that
is
she
that
mentioned
cute?
it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very
So anyway, it's a really fun park, and there were people
Awesome.
playing there too. Not as many as Lighthouse, but, and I wanted to ask why there were 16 to 20 people in front of the dog park, but now we know.
Now we know.
It was the aftermath of the
Yeah.
unveiling of the dog
Yeah.
park, right? So, and then, that's for later, I'm sorry. That's my park report.
Nice job, Karen.
Yeah.
Okay, I went to the Lions Pavilion for vacation, the marina. The marina, just like what Karen said, you go to these parks, the good part of this is everybody talks to you. They want to talk, especially at that marina. Katie probably can vouch for that, because we're staying there and they don't know anybody, so they see a person and they just want to chat. Talked to that Pat, whose daughter has the second slip sailboat, but, and he was complimentary towards the dock hands. He said they were very friendly. He said they hustle to grab the lines, and so I went and told the dock hands that, and I noticed that they had tips. So I think they're getting some feedback too, obviously, in form of a little money, which is good. They should be. So I thought and then on that marina, the size of the boats, I think, has really increased this year. And I think those bigger boats
Nice.
is an asset to Manistee, and they've been there they seem to be there longer, and we walk down there and they just come off, and we've had good people. They say that lounge, and I'm gonna give Kelly Greavy did a great job on that lounge, they say, is the best on Lake Michigan. They love the lounge area. So, they're appreciative of that. Everything's good. The bathroom looks good there. That upstairs bathroom still looks good that they painted. That door is still heavy, and there's not much you can do about that door. It's probably better than it was, but that door to the women's bathroom at some point should be replaced. It's probably the best it's gonna be for right now. The only thing about that, could we get those lights to all come on? Those lights are beautiful. People comment on that, and half of them are not working on that second section right now.
They're actually, we cut the plugs off of them because they're frayed and something is, the wires are loose, exposed, and I had an employee that actually got electrocuted touching a tree. So we taped them, somebody plugged them back in, we tested the tree, it was still electrified, so we cut the plug off. But to answer your first question, they're photosensors that turn those on and off. So whatever you plug into that, when that senses low light, it energizes, and whether you're here, you know what I mean, wherever it is, wherever the ambient light is gonna be different. They
So they're not gonna work in that second section at all? They're done? Are we done with those?
I don't know, that's a DDA, those are owned by the DDA, and the DDA has a maintenance agreement.
Oh, and ask
I
if you don't.
thought that when
But-
Manistee Proud did that, there was a company they worked with from Traverse City that did the lights. I
Called
thought.
Sparkle.
Sparkle?
Oh, I like
But,
that.
yeah.
Don't they have a warranty, or it hasn't been?
Sparkle has a maintenance agreement. The reason why I know this is because every time the lights go out, somebody calls the DDA calls Sparkle. Sparkle says it's not us, it's the city power. I pay to have an electrician go and verify that not any of the 12 times has been the city power. In fact, when I knew those were going in, we paid to have new outlets put in with new GFIs. So we made sure that our stuff was ready and in good shape. But this was a week and a half ago, we found that there were, and I don't know if it's squirrels chewing on them or something, but something has frayed them. And, those are the same, those are just Christmas lights. Those are not made for outdoor commercial use. The lights that are out there, they're just Christmas lights. So even though they're plugged into a GFI outlet, which is a ground fault indicator, so when you have a bare wire and it's going to ground and it senses that, it trips it so it doesn't electrocute anybody. Those wires don't have a ground wire. They have a positive and negative, so nothing's going to ground.
Oh.
So when you expose two wires and you touch the hot wire to a tree, it's sending electricity into that tree.
To complete the
And
curve.
when we were investigating it, a guy leaned against the tree and whoa,
Oh.
and it got banged.
Wow.
So the DDA is aware of it, and
Those
I
looked
think they're
so
looking
nice.
for a
We got
solution.
Positive comments on those.
And we got recommendations from our electrical contractor, Topline, on what would be appropriate to put there. Because I think they're beautiful, and they're looking at doing it in the trees across the street by the fountain as well.
That'd be nice.
But it needs to be a more robust and safer installation. But Liz, and when I say they're not all gonna turn on at the same time, when you look at all the street lights, some turn on a little bit faster than the other, but, within 10, 15 minutes, they should all be
Yeah, this
within
is a
that
delay.
range.
It's more than 10 or 15 minutes. I think it's quite a bit.
I think it's been a
Well, I
couple
think
hours.
she's
at
talking
times.
about,
Like-
right, because half of them weren't working and half are.
No.
But they're not supposed to be plugged in. Someone plugged them in, and so they're half lit up.
That's-
I think that's what you're saying.
We're working.
Yeah, even where they
I
were
would take
working,
my son to the movie theater and
Exactly.
one half would be on, and by the time he got out of the theater, the other half was on,
The
so.
delay was 2 hours
was-
usually.
it
I
was-
agree.
Well, and what we've learned is, one of the DDA board members lives across the street, and when he would see that one of the strings were out, or one of the sets were out, he would go hit the GFI. And what was happening is those bare wires, when they would get moisture, the moisture, rain, or even the irrigation would create the ground fault. So it would trip the outlet. And when he would reset it, the lights would come back in, but you still got bare wires. And we didn't know that for a while. So there was weird times that he was running across the street and popping them. And then anything that would create that fault would trip him back out. So they're being worked, hopefully they're being worked on.
I see most of the summer. It looks to be. The other thing is, what about that river walk? The second part of the river walk going down from Johnson Funeral, that's closed off. What's the status? People are asking on that. In fact, the one man at the marina today said, what's the status? I said, I don't know.
I don't know how I can shorten this up. The Corps of Engineers there's a federal navigation channel that goes through Manistee Lake, down the river channel out to Lake Michigan, okay? That's a set by the federal law where the limits of that channel are. And the Corps of Engineers is tasked with maintaining the depth of that channel for navigational purposes. When they sounded last fall, they knew they were gonna have to dredge the outer harbor. When they sounded this spring, they said, oh my gosh, it's way worse than what we thought. We need to emergency dredge it. So they brought in the dredge as early as they could. I participated in the pre-construction meeting and talked about, you're gonna need to gap out work through the Forest Festival, especially during fireworks. We got boat traffic, we got people everywhere. So we worked out all these details, we worked out parking, we worked out all these things in the pre-construction meeting. I got word that they were gonna be mobilizing over the weekend their equipment. That occurred. Monday morning, I took a ride down to First Street Beach, and I saw 3 representatives from the Corps of Engineers. So I pulled up and talked to them and said, okay, well, they got the pipeline stretched across the shoreline at First Street. When they submerge that, I want it to be on the swim buoys. And they're like, well, you're gonna need to talk to the superintendent. And he just walked down the beach. And then they told me that there was gonna be no dredging until Sunday after the festival. So they said, okay, so I finished everything with them. The contractor called me 20 minutes later. So I went back down to the beach to meet the contractor. And I said, well, when you submerge that dredge pipe, I want it outside the swim area. And they said, well, it can't. they said they moved the dredge area further upstream. So now it has to jump the pier because we don't have enough pipe to go around the pier. And that's where it's gonna have to go, right where it's at. And I'm like, you're kidding me. Why, if you're not starting dredging till Sunday, why do you have to lay this out in the middle of our busiest beach of a week of the year?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what do you mean Sunday? We're starting pumping sand here in a couple hours. So literally everything, the Corps and the
Oh,
contractor
right.
met on site, and everything that they discussed, the Corps went away with one idea, contractor had a second idea. So I ended up having to try to bridge what the heck is going on. And I said, well, what do you mean you're going further upstream? The contract says basically right by the Coast Guard station. And they said, no, where the dredge is all the way up the channel by that red shed, that's where they want us dredging. It's real narrow there. And I said, well, I've paid attention to the soundings in this harbor and for 30 years, and that is a no maintenance zone because both side slopes are so susceptible to problems because it's pure sugar sand and it's narrow, but it's plenty wide enough for the freighters to get through. And I've had this conversation dozens of times. And they said, well, I don't know. They told us the day after the pre-con, they issued us a change order and said, you're going up to that section and we want you to take it out. And I said, I hope they got you just going down the center of it, because if you get on the edges, and I'm talking like 50 feet that they don't dredge, that was within the federal channel. And they said, we're going right to the edge and we're taking it full depth.
Wow.
And I said, oh my God, you're gonna suck in that net shed, you're gonna take our river walk with you, and you're gonna destroy the banks on both sides. They did.
So what's the plan then? What is,
So we've been
Yeah.
tremendous amount of communication with the Corps. Honestly, they backpedaled quite a bit until we started feeding them data and their own documents and their own permits. And then they late last week said, we recommend the city proceed with corrective actions and then file a damage claim with the Corps or with the federal government. So right now, I'm trying to get quotes on, the first thing we're trying to do is pluck that shed off so we can preserve it. And then we just got soundings, the post-dredge soundings from the Corps Tuesday. The engineers are processing that data right now so that we can then figure out how bad it's impacting our structures and then what the remedial action is. But I think there's going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars of work that needs to be done.
No, it sounds huge.
And I don't see us reopening it this season.
oh, well, that's bad news for
So
the
just
park.
blame it on the Corps of Engineers.
Somebody made a mistake.
Yeah.
Somebody made a mistake.
Well, I think it is important to save that building, first of all. I think that's kind of an iconic little historical building that people do love that, so.
Well, and I talked to the contractor Friday. I met him down at the boat launch, and he said, I heard you. I documented everything you said. I called them, and I said, please be sure. And they said, go. And then we started, and I said, my God, I called them back and said, my God, I'm pulling, the material that's at the end of my dredge nozzle is coming from the bank 100 feet away. And he said, we're going to take everything with it. And they said, we're not paying you to stand down, keep going. And then I think it was the next morning, he called and said, well, that shed just sunk 4 feet. And they said, stop. And then they moved them out to the entrance. That was going to be in my updates, but they are starting to remove the dredge discharge piping, and they're going to be demobilizing from the harbor this week. So
Complete, basically, then.
their work is complete, yeah.
That part is positive, but that is too bad, because that was the one concern the guy from Ludington mentioned today. He said, and that does affect the marina, so, because those people love to go down to the end there, so.
Yeah, I mean, we've got it blocked at Tamarack,
Yeah, that's
essentially
a
at the bottom of
loss.
Tamarack.
So, okay. Well,
But honestly, but even the shoreline revetment we did, the stone that we put on the shoreline, it took so much, it undermined some of those stones so much. And I mean, they only worked one night, but it rolled those toe stones down where you can barely see them, and so that there's a lot of remediation work.
Well, good luck, because that's sad. Then First Street Beach, everything, the one comment, I think for capital improvement, that bathroom needs a little bit of updating. That floor looks rough in there, and it's not a maintenance issue, it's a capital improvement issue. That floor, the women's bathroom is what I looked at, and I'm sure the men's that same way. It needs new flooring. I don't know if you put the stuff in, like, that flooring, but if you could do that, maybe, you know, if there's some money for next year or something, but I think that bathroom needs updating. It could use a coat of paint, and it just, that bathroom is so used that I think it could use a little bit of work.
Just, and I mean this very respectfully, we're 18 days into the budget year,
I know,
so we've got a long ways to go.
yeah, I know. I'm just saying that we're always
Yeah.
talking about capital improvements, and
Yeah.
that was one that, you know, is probably our most noticeable bathroom, and it's rougher than I thought it was. That, you know, it's not just a cleanliness, it's a repair issue on that, so, but for next year, I get it. That's about it. So, everything, they do look, I think the First Street Beach, I think it looked good, and, you know, the marinas, so. Okay, moving on, next report. John, Sands Park?
Sands Park is looking good. One comment I'd like to make applies to all of our parks, and that is that I think the crew has been very diligent about clearing out the weeds on the perimeters, especially under the fences, which,
Oh,
I
man.
mean, that's the first thing everybody notices.
Absolutely.
That's been great. The facilities there, I think, are looking good. The building itself, there are some milkweeds that are really growing up, and maybe people would like to see them there because they attract butterflies. If you'd like me to come and help with a group of volunteer kids to just tidy up the front of that building a little bit, it wouldn't take much, a couple hours maybe.
That would be great.
Yeah, it'd be kind of a fun deal. And let's see, new swings on the west playground area, and that all looks good. It's all nice new swings over there. And then on the northeast as well, everything's, you know, looking good. Everything's in good shape on the playground equipment. The porta potty, it could have been emptied, I guess, but that's it on Sands Park. Oh, there was one kid who was playing on the skateboard area, and that's certainly a good addition for our town, just to have that. That's been there, what, maybe 20 years?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then the North Beach access. That's in great shape. The boardwalk out there is really good. The only suggestion that I would have, and that is something that I mentioned when we put in the initial report earlier this spring, and that is some of the boards on the side rails are maybe a little gappy. Just if there's any way that those could be aligned so that they're not sticking out. And then there might be some boards that need to be replaced, not too many at all. When you first look at the boardwalk, though, there's one on the left-hand rail, just one board that really should be replaced, because that's pretty visible when you first arrive there. Otherwise, the area going up to that is really well maintained. And then, as we mentioned earlier, I did notice the deck out there. The platform apparently had shifted at one time, and then you had to reconfigure that so that it was secure. And And then on the deck, there is only one board where there's a little, it sticks up a little bit, could be a liability. It's just one of those things that visually, if, you know, it's just, it's a small thing. And the other thing is I went to the wrong park. I didn't go, yeah,
Was it one of mine?
yeah, no, it was one of, it was Tim's. But, so I went over to Duffy Park and I ran the dog over there. Man, did she have a good time because she could run like crazy. And good thing I had plastic bags too because, boy, anyway. So, but it's in great shape, you know, all the playground equipment is great. I love that little rotary playground wheel. And just one tiny little comment, and that is that in the bathroom, oh, and the bathrooms were really clean too, I thought, in both of those, the men's and the women's. And, but I'm just a guy, you know. So. Anyway, and then, but the door, the sign on the door was all faded, and it really, you know, just a little thing, but boy, if you had a nice brand new sign there, you'd feel like, wow, this is a place to be.
The bathroom sign is,
Yeah, that's it. It says men and
does it
then,
need a new sign?
well, on the ladies, it says women and then no smoking. And those signs are faded like it's some kind of a
yeah,
friendly
yeah,
building.
okay.
It's not. So, I mean, just tiny little things. I mean,
Yeah.
the parks are, they're looking great. I mean, you know.
Okay, Karen?
Yes. First of all, I'd like to thank your crew. When I was out looking at one of the parks, they were there knocking it out. I want to ditto his comment on the vegetation along the fence lines, real clean, looks great. I'm still curious about the benches out there. Are on the first diamond, on diamond number 1, I'm gonna call that. I don't know what you guys call it. What do you guys call it?
At the softball field?
Yes.
The north field?
Northfield. Yes, Northfield. So at the Northfield, the spectator benches and the dugout benches, I thought they were being scraped to be painted.
We did that 2 years ago, so we need to replace the wood on them.
I gotcha, okay.
And, or at least strip them and stain them like we did at the bleachers at Duffy Park.
Okay. Just something that, yeah, that really stands out there. How about additional trash receptacles? I know that my last report, because there's only one along the third baseline.
So I just had a conversation with the parks guys this week, and the way that we've done this, since we started purchasing the new
Yes.
ornamental fixtures, those are 30-gallon versus 50-gallon, right? The old barrels were 50-gallon. So I said, well, this is actually a great way for us to strategically place them, and then where we notice that they're getting full,
Quickly.
that's where we add another one,
I gotcha.
right?
Okay.
So they've been noticing now that we're in the throes of the summer where the hot spots are, if you will, and they know where there's areas where, well, there's only a little bit of trash in here every day, and there's a can really close. So they're kind of moving them and
Okay,
strategically. But we also, I said, but I don't want cans down there. So we need to supplement, we need to rob them from the new ones from the other parks and bring them in there so we can build our way from the shoreline back. And I just got the quotes, the money that we've got budgeted for this year. I'm gonna order, next week I'll order 24 new ones.
Okay.
So we're
Awesome.
continuing to add
Okay.
to them.
We'll look forward to that.
But that's a huge difference in capacity, is 30 gallons to 50 gallons.
That's 20 gallons,
Yeah.
yeah, that's huge, you're right. Drag mats were under the announcer's booth, out of the way, thank you. That was one of my concerns when they were inside the play field,
That's
thank you.
senior softball that does that.
I like senior softball, moving those things out of the way. The product is staying in place on the north field. That asphalt roofing tile is still kind of laying there in the dugout path on the, let me see, what side was that on? I think it was on the third base side. But it looks like it was maybe placed there in case of rain. Maybe does that area maybe hold rain?
One piece of, roof asphalt, right near, well, where some of the stuff did wash out of there after a heavy rain.
Okay. So I could understand that being put there because it, yeah, I could, so that you could stand on that instead of getting all mud.
Well, and you can even see just the dye that's in that stone dust has bled down the sidewalk. So that's where the water's draining
Oh, I
to, is
gotcha.
right to that
Okay.
entry point.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice that. Thank you. The fountain was adjusted. Wonderful. The South Diamond. There was a pile of grass over there, but I spoke with Buddy, who was out there working, doing the edging around the trees. Real nice young man. He said that it gets dumped there and then picked up at a later time.
Every Friday.
I said excellent. I didn't know if it was residents dumping. Okay. Base staples or the base plugs. You have stationary base staples. I'm thinking at both diamonds. They're not breakaways, right? Do the bases break away from the?
No, they're pegged in.
They are pegged in.
Yep.
Okay, so the things that I'm seeing then I'm thinking are what you put on in the wintertime? Maybe when you pull the
Probably.
bases up? Okay, then that's what I'm seeing over there. Okay, thank you. Restrooms were okay. Floors again, who said floors?
Me,
Okay.
yeah.
Maybe to be addressed a little bit, but other than that, all of the porcelain is gleaming in there. It looks
Yeah,
awesome.
mirrors are clean.
It is, very nice. So yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, and through use, paper from the, yeah, everything, yeah. But I mean, it did look good.
Work, that's all.
Exactly.
So, just a point on that, two of the new guys last year said, oh, I did my floor, I helped my buddy. So, like, if you go to Arthur Street, I don't know who had Arthur Street, but
I'll be on that next.
the floors in there were repainted by our guys. So it was a little one, a nice little test one, and okay, let's see what you got. And they did a heck of a job on it. So I think, you know, a lot of those things that I want to do more painting and I want to do more refreshing and
Yes.
things like that
Yes.
are fall, winter,
Okay.
you know, early
Okay.
spring.
Got it?
But I'm making notes of all this stuff.
You are. So yeah, and this is what I'm seeing. Also, the weeds I was seeing on the infield are technically gone. You guys did a great job at cutting that.
The
infield back.
drag rake, the nail drag that we bought has really improved, specifically Duffy and Sands Park.
Okay.
And we've been doing the South Softball Diamond, and then I told them now in July, we're gonna start dragging the North Diamond
Okay.
as well. Contractor said let it go for a couple months, but, so now we'll put that in the routine as well. And we've been doing that monthly. It keeps it fluffed up and it doesn't let the weeds set.
Exactly. No, it looks really good, nice and clean.
You'll hit that by the end of July, that's the north part?
Yeah, it's on the, yeah, yep. They may have, I know it's on the list, I don't know where it is, but it could be tomorrow, it could be next week, so.
Now I'm on Arthur Street. Let's see. All right, let me go back. Man-made. Trash receptacle has been moved closer to Porta-John, which was something I thought should happen. It looks great there. The orange fencing is still laying down.
That's around private property.
And I got a question about that. I saw that parcel of land back up for sale on
I saw
the
that
real
too.
estate
Zillow.
site.
On Zillow.com.
Can you update us on that? I thought we were purchasing it.
We have a purchase agreement.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, but I didn't see it on there for a long time. Now I see it back on.
It's back.
Yeah, we've applied for grant money to make the acquisition.
Okay, and the owner knows that we're actively seeking that. Okay. I said, oh no.
That's funny that you put it back up
Yeah,
on
it's
Zillow.
back up again.
Yeah. I didn't understand that. Okay, and the south bike rack, the one that's.
Quite frankly, that tactic would be successful if you were trying to push the city to buy it, right? Because we just brought it up.
Yeah, no, that's true too.
But he actually signed a buy-sell. So he's under contract with the city or no?
As far as I know.
Yeah,
I-
that's on that.
Okay.
The city manager,
It says pending.
the city manager dealt with David directly, but
I don't remember
Pending, it
seeing
just said it
pending, you
was-
guys. I got
Yeah.
nervous when I saw that.
Well,
in
he's
fact.
probably, if he could sell it for more, he probably would.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I
I
would.
mean, could he do that if he got a?
Yeah, gotcha. Well, anyways, the S bike, or the south bike rack is leaning a little bit. I don't know if somebody hit it, but it's, it's not totally straight, it's like that. Not that bikes couldn't go in it, I just didn't
Yeah.
know if somebody hit it. Arthur Street, I still see the volunteer vegetation, along the wall area, and on the wall area, growing through the cracks. Is that something that can be weed whacked off?
along US 31, that wall,
Yes. I just noticed that there's a lot of volunteer growth in between. I don't know, I think that would hurt the, brick, wouldn't it, and the mortar?
I would probably spray it rather than weed whip it.
Okay, I was just trying to think of somewhere to, how about the parking lot lines? Is that on the, to restripe them?
That, if it hasn't been done, I will have it done.
You're awesome, Jeff, thank you.
Well, I know we had a new crew, we trained a new crew to do it this year, and they got everything they could do before the 4th, but we'll revisit that.
Okay, thank you. Broken cleat on the pier still, half of it's broken off. The first one, as you're walking out on the pier on the right-hand side. And some dried aquatic vegetation in piles along the curb, it looks like. I don't know, when they pull boats out of there, does that stuff just come out on the motor or something and they're cleaning it off in the parking lot? Then it dries and blows?
That's very weedy over there by the
Okay.
city of Milwaukee.
That's what it looks like is going on, and then maybe they're pulling it off and just letting it dry.
Exactly, when they
and
pull
then
it off, a
blowing.
lot of it,
Yes.
throwing it in. That's
Yeah,
what's
so,
occurring.
I mean, I'm just noticing that. There's one broken and crumbling parking block that's in the middle of the space, going this way instead of, yeah, you're aware of that, okay.
I'm not, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah, because it looks like, if I was getting out of the car in the space next to it, I don't know if I'd be paying attention to that and maybe trip over it, that would be my concern. Doors for the restrooms could use cleaning or painting. There's some scratches in the women's, like in the door where somebody was trying to maybe put graffiti, you know what I'm saying, they just scratched name or letters into it. And the bathrooms there, the porcelain again, beautiful, nice and shiny and clean. And again, through use, the floors could have used a little sweeping up, and that's it. But I mean, other than that, it looked great. And again, you guys have been really knocking it out, and thank you. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Very good detail. And this is all helpful because nobody can notice all the things. It's definitely not a
No.
criticism. It's
No,
just
absolutely.
It's another set of eyes because you're going down there to mow and you're not gonna see the cleats half broken off or whatever. So that's the point of this. So thank you.
I skipped Sean's, but I happened to take one of my sons to play at both Morton and Reed's
Oh,
in the last couple of weeks. Can
Yeah.
I just say that Morton Park, he was thrilled with. He's like, Mom, when did this happen? I guess I hadn't taken him there yet.
Cool, yeah,
This is
nice.
great. It was
Yeah.
almost raining, and he wanted to run around on everything. What is this purple thing? I'm like, I have no idea, but
Get on
go
it.
try
Yeah.
it. So he just thought it was the greatest thing. He didn't realize that,
Aw,
that it
yeah,
had been
cool.
done.
Yeah.
And Reed's Park, he loved the equipment there too. He's like, Mom, this is a great playground. Why have we never come here before?
Oh, yeah, but look, you got a new place.
I don't know. But, so yeah, the kids are really enjoying, like, going to the parks they've never been to, just like some of the
Exactly.
Storytime kids going to the
Visiting different.
new
Yeah.
parks, so they looked really good. They
Yeah.
looked really good. And Reed's Park, I mean, there's a lot of trees, so it just, there's
so much that could
branches
be
and leaves and-
more done
but
there.
what can you do? I mean, there's the massive trees, so that was
It's a great spot.
It is. Mr.
It's
Reeds
a
wanted
good-
that.
looked great.
Yes.
It was, and it was heavily used because it happened to be during the art drop that I was doing reconnaissance over there, watching everyone. so-
Spying.
Exactly, yeah. trying to
boy.
pretend I'm not.
Doing anything?
I don't know how somebody found that
I,
so fast unless they saw Katie and I putting it there.
Kelly McCall said that this person just really knows, he and his roommate really know history. Their
I
history
called
of-
them because I wanted to know. It was 8:32. I just called the man and said, how did this happen so fast?
Yeah.
I said, you can tell me the truth because you still found it. Did you see him? He said, I participated last year.
Oh.
And he said, I loved it last year and I decided I was gonna win this year.
guess what?
He
He
said,
did.
my roommate is a Manistee history buff, and he said, we knew instantly. and
That's so
we went
cool.
there. And he
That's
said,
cool.
as soon as we knew it started at 8, he said, we just set our alarm, we got up, we went, and so I believed him, you know, and he was all excited to win.
I was nervous that people were gonna go there and not be able to see the envelope, because I had it wedged in between the two pretty good. So, but obviously it worked twice, so that's awesome.
Yes. So for everybody's information, so we did it, when he found it at 8:32, I thought, oh my gosh, people are loving this, and this, you guys put so much time, and it was great. Let's hide a second one. And it did. Karen had a little trouble. She's out there in the rain, and that's when I said, just take your son, it'll look good, and you can have a cup of coffee.
Act like you don't know what's going on.
Fun because a grandma was there with her children from out of state, from Georgia, and she said, you know, I'm doing the scavenger hunt, and I was like trying not to, just blushing. I'm like,
Oh, what-
She said that's what she was for?
yeah.
Oh,
I said,
really?
You know, are you enjoying
Exactly.
your time? Where are you from? And she's like, well,
Wow.
we just came to this park because we
There you
figured
go.
this was the park, and then we're looking for
That's
this art
exactly
club.
what.
That's cool.
Yeah, it
that
is.
I really wish I would knew what I was looking for, because last year they posted a picture of what the package looked like. We didn't do that this time.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
But we wanted to make it harder,
Yeah,
right?
right. Oh.
Not a hot pink package like it
Yeah,
was.
right.
Well,
That was a good spot, yeah.
to me, I mean, a lot of people had fun with that, obviously. It got them into at least that park, if not other parks. And they learned a little bit of history on it too.
Yeah.
So
The whole thing.
Everybody who worked on that, that was a great project, and I think we need to keep
fun.
going on that, and it
Yeah.
gets, it's our mission, I feel partly, is free family fun in the parks.
I
and that
do too, I agree.
exemplifies that.
And that's fairly simple, it doesn't take any staff hours,
Made
we
him
had
think.
you hide it.
Made him- yeah, made
And
him
I'm sorry,
think.
it's
It was-
kind of out of order, but that when
I
I
thought
drove
it
by,
was
I had to
great.
circle the park
Listen to
multiple
this, this
times
cracks me up.
to come hide a second one. Because there were like 8 cars at a time there, and people swarming. That was amazing. And I was like, how am I ever going to hide another one? So
That's
it was
cool.
raining
Isn't
at
that
the
cool?
time.
That's cool.
So we
Isn't
waited
that
for
fun?
everyone to leave and sat and had a snack, and then we got to hide it again. But I had to circle the park like 3 times, coming back every half hour to see if people were gone yet. And
Thank you so much, Karen.
That's amazing.
It is.
It was fun.
Thank you so much.
And the prizes were neat. and-
Yes, and thank you to
Yeah.
your friend there, those were gorgeous.
Yeah, those are neat prizes and kind of unique to Manistee. So thank you. That was a great project. I think these activities in the parks do go over, so we got to continue those. I think getting people outside. Anything else? Jeff, you're next.
Just a couple quick updates. I talked about the garbage cans that we're getting.
Thank you.
I also have 3 benches. I heard from parents when they're playing at the playground down at First Street Beach. They said, you know, it's wonderful, the kids love it, but sometimes the parents just want to sit around it. So each one of our playgrounds, we've been doing that. And so I ordered 3 to put around there, and we'll just spot them around. Just waiting for those to come in. I also ordered 3 more tetherball sets. So we'll put a second one at Fifth Avenue, a second one at First Street, and I think you guys suggested one at Duffy.
Morton,
Morton, I think.
well,
Well, Duffy
I
would
thought
be
it was
good.
Duffy.
Duffy
Okay.
would be really good. And Morton.
But
Or
we could,
maybe take one of the beach ones, Duffy and
and,
Morton.
Yeah.
and then
Maybe
they got,
take the one from the beach. I don't
they're so heavily used. And what we heard from the specifically the kids that came to those beach master plan sessions are, they're so much fun, but Tim is always playing and I never get to play, and so, you know, Tim never loses, so if you don't beat Tim, you never get to play, and, you know, that kind of thing. But what we see is that the usage is so great on those, they never stop.
I love it.
And so somebody punctured a hole in one of them with vandalism, the other one I think it just broke, but when the guys were ordering the new balls, they saw that they actually make balls that are glow in the dark. So they're glowing in the dark at the beaches right now.
Oh, I love that idea.
We'll see how it works and if people appreciate that,
Is
but
that recent?
yeah, they're up. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
My grandkids love that. That's like one of their favorite games. Yeah.
So which park does everybody think, do you care, or what park do you want?
Makes
Each beach, but there's a third one, Duffy or Morton? Do you care if we
Duffy
decide, or
doesn't
which
have
one do you
one.
prefer?
I think Duffy.
Duffy
because
get
of
more
all the
use, because
soccer
there's kids
and-
playing, maybe Duffy because someone could go play that by themselves while their siblings are playing soccer or baseball.
Yeah, no, that's a good point there.
And they're not that expensive. If we wanted to add, if we find that Duffy's being used and we want to add one at Morton, we can absolutely do that.
Duffy.
Okay, good idea. Let's do Duffy first then.
So the dog park, the chamber did their ribbon cutting and dedication today. I apologize that you did get an invite, but it wasn't until today or something?
Yeah, Katie sent it, and it's my fault, I don't look at that Outlook every single, I got it last night. I was sent last night, I didn't see it till after, because we were at Story Hour today and doing the park visits, and so I was doing park stuff, but so when I got home,
Yeah,
it was.
I apologize. I mean, we didn't do the invite, but we should have thought ahead of that. But it was very well attended, and I have to say that leadership group was wonderful to work with. We spent some of our volunteer money to support them, so it made us a major sponsor of it. But we used our volunteer money to put the water in, to build the water delivery feature that we made. And then one of the benches, we had an extra one from the disc golf, so we put that in there. And then I think we then used volunteer money to buy the other 3 benches. So, but it was a great collaboration, and I think the end product is wonderful.
And it's used.
It's used. I think it's used at least 2 to maybe almost 3 times what it was used before. Just when I drive by, so that's just a casual observation. And when people go in there with their dogs, I see the kids going on the little agility stuff as much as the animals are. So everybody's having fun with it, and I think that turned out really well. The new sandbox was installed as the Eagle Scout had promised at Sands Park. I thought it turned out really well.
Cool, I gotta go see.
Okay,
Yeah.
she's got pictures,
Yay.
so.
Is Linda, our kids?
Yes.
Okay.
And a
Awesome.
couple of board members bought some toys.
You may approach the bench.
I mean,
Thank you.
Decide.
Okay.
Oh, wow, look at that.
there are 6 Boy Scouts in that troop. 3 of them are wannabe Eagle Scouts. My grandson is probably the closest.
Good.
Blake is gonna build a little library for Morton. I
Yep.
don't know how that's going, but they all worked on that. Marcus was the lead man. And he would tell everybody he was the lead man too, because, not right now. But they worked really hard on it, and I had sent a message to Brandon.
Great plan.
About sand, and he met him over there, and they brought the sand.
He was actually communicating very well with me.
Oh,
I need the lumber on this day, can you bring it here? And we got him everything he needed, and then he's like, okay, it's almost done, I'm gonna plan it on this date, I'm gonna be there at this time, can you bring me a bucket of sand? And so it was a pleasure working with him.
Congratulations, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's an awesome kid. I know when he made that presentation to city council, he sat down beside me, and he said, when the hell did you grow up?
yeah, where'd you go? That's cute.
If you have paperwork, if you want to keep those pictures, because I have more pictures.
Ah,
And there's gonna
thank
be an
you.
article in the paper.
Oh, nice, thank you.
I think probably Kyle that comes here about, because I can make more pictures of them, we'll put a little article. And there is a lot coming. He's at Boy Scout campus.
There's a what coming?
A lot.
Okay.
At night.
Good.
And then there's going to be a sign saying what it's for and where it came from and who did it.
Oh, very
So
nice.
it's all gonna be documented.
Very good.
So, yeah.
Good.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah, very nice.
Did he get his ego?
I think so, I think he's working on
Cool, 'cause
it,
then
yeah.
you got-
I don't know when he will accomplish that.
When
But I
you
know that
open
he
it
emailed me
up,
the paperwork, because
then
my
when you
name was
open
on
it
it.
up,
I
there's
thought,
your
"That's
bench, so
not
you
right."
can back.
And I said to
Oops.
Tanya,
Good
the
link.
council dropped
Yes,
the ball,
you saw them.
and then all of a sudden, let's do this. So she went through and signed everybody's name, and I said, that's fine.
Yeah.
As long as they got done.
Get it done.
Yeah, that was the most important thing for me, was for that to get done.
Oh, you can tell he's proud.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, that's
And-
positive.
And I would like to point out that we were able to support the purchase of the materials and stuff with the volunteer money that we budgeted. So
That's
I'm hoping we continue to encourage council to support that, because when it's a line item, it makes it really so much easier for me to say yes and
Yes.
and to work with
Got it.
different groups.
Okay.
And it takes that stress out of, oh my God, now I can't buy the basketball hoop.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, because I bought lumber.
Right.
So it just takes that stress out of that. The last thing I had was, the Seeds Group has reached out and wants to bring some of their volunteers and workers. And last time they did this, we did a lot of staining and cleanup in the marina, on the marina grounds. So they're wondering if we're interested and if we have a project. The first one that popped into my head was the playground equipment at First Street. We've talked about the need, and everybody's talked about the desire to paint that, but maybe we set that up so they're just doing structure at a time. I don't know. Or, I don't know what you think, or if you have any other ideas, let me know.
Okay, cool.
When are they doing that, pretty quick?
Yeah, when is,
I just read the email from Gordon today, so it's coming up.
Yeah.
What about Mac Park? Are they, is Kathy Grabowski interested still in painting that? I wonder, or First Street, I don't care which.
Tanner, when I talked to Tanner, I'm sorry for
ahead.
interrupting, he said that it would probably need to be sandblasted. It's in such, it's also rough and,
Morton,
no, Mac,
Mac.
or Mac, I mean, sorry.
so is that still the case? Does it?
I'm
or
not
can
going
it
to
still be
disagree with
painted?
Tanner.
Well, I had asked him because it's so
Yeah,
rough and
yeah.
rusty, like the little sanding block wouldn't touch that, I think. But
Well, First Street would be a good project, and also, who commented today that North Beach access could be cleaned too? They were good at scrubbing, that group was. I don't think we could power wash there because there's not water. I don't know how we could get the water there.
Well, you can't,
But,
that,
to scrub
the
that.
treated lumber can't be power washed.
So to scrub.
It's not new enough to.
To
it looks
scrub,
nice and rusty.
okay, not to clean it? Who commented on that when you were there today? Someone commented that it could be cleaned. Might have been a parent, so no, if nobody thinks it needs to be done, that's fine.
Well,
so maybe First Street,
because I could give them kind of a priority list of, suggestions, and then if they're willing to bring workers and help, then
Absolutely.
we'll take whichever one they want to do, but,
Yeah.
so that's a good idea.
No, First Street.
I think
Yeah.
First Street would be a great, yeah, just so in case they
And
come up tomorrow.
I
and
know
say,
Rocket Park was painted, but there's a few things that could probably be painted again, the
Yes.
old Rocket Park.
Yes, in fact, that four-person teeter-totter, the shield in the middle could be
there you
painted,
go.
and the rails going up the rocket
Yeah.
slide.
Painting equipment would be
safety rails.
perfect. The other thing,
And the handles.
probably more intense, the cabanas, I think, need painting underneath at the Lions Pavilion. I don't know if they'd want to do that, the underneath part, that's wood.
I think that, we've looked at that this spring, and I think that's going to need to be spray painted and tarped off and stuff.
Probably above
Yeah,
What they can do.
above what they want to do or can do.
yeah.
Okay.
That's all I had.
Okay, beach master plan, I don't know that there was any more update on that.
There was close to 600 respondents on the online survey that came down, I think the week after the 4th. So Spicer's working on compiling all that information, and I'm guessing early August we'll get the steering committee together.
Okay, cool.
Then the Riverwalk South,
It's back out for bids with an extended construction completion date. We didn't get any bids the first time we bid it out, so
so they've extended it, so it doesn't have to be started. like-
we had to reapply to the DDA for an extension on the schedule, which they approved. Then they make you resubmit all your documentation and go through plan review and document review again. even though they just approved it and we just bid it. So we're through that, but it's out for bids. And
Thank you.
I know that Spicer has been talking with the general contractors. The time frame just wasn't advantageous to the contractors, so we're hoping to have more success this time.
So nothing probably this year is what we're thinking?
If
What's
they,
the
work could start this fall,
Okay.
yeah.
Then the other Riverwalk?
North Riverwalk, we just signed the engine agreement last week to start the design of that.
And who's designing that? Is that-
Spicer's designing that.
And then the streetscape, they're still planning stages of that kind of still.
Yes.
And then that pickleball group, is there really a group that does meet on that, or is there not a group? I remember when the foundation was saying that there was like a committee formed, I don't know if they meet or not. Trying to form a committee.
She was
Did
gonna
that
create
ever-
a summit.
Yeah.
Did that ever happen?
We haven't had the summit,
Okay.
or she hasn't had the summit, or,
We should be included on that, and I know John's got an interest in that, on the pickleball summit. We'd like to have some representation on that if we could, when it happens, or if it happens.
I wanna be invited too.
We like to be invited, Jeff. Okay, new business, someone had brought up changing the monthly meeting,
To a different Thursday of the month, that's all.
just a different Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay,
Is it available?
Yeah, I think. I
I
don't
think that's
know.
the first thing you gotta check, whether this room is available.
Trying to think, the only one that used to bump up against us was, it wasn't Parks though, that was on Monday, that was Peg, right?
I don't know what they have on, yeah, I don't know the
We'll
schedule.
have to check the,
Yeah.
first of all, you have to pick out what Thursday.
yeah, let's pick
And
it
then we
out
can-
and then we'll.
Yeah,
Then we can check on the
like to discuss it.
calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the 4th, because it's
we
Christmas
did-
and it's bad.
Second.
Maybe how about the 1st? Does anybody have a conflict with the 1st? Because it's
First or the second, I mean, it didn't matter, just
Yeah,
third is,
alternate.
That's too hard to keep track.
Really?
Oh,
It's tree commission the
You set your
second.
schedule for the whole year.
I like a
Yeah.
week.
oh, that's,
yeah.
Well, the first
Jeff.
just happened to be on the
This
4th of
is,
July.
this is up to you, but if I have any input,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
the second, well, actually, that doesn't, huh?
What? Yeah, well,
Tree commission's the second Monday.
second Monday. We could do the second Thursday.
Never mind, I withdraw.
We're meeting the 3rd, so.
I was trying not to have
Second
tree
is-
commission, city council, parks commission all in the same week.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, that'd be hard.
Well,
Understand that.
yeah, we understand.
So what week are they, when?
But we're not, it's gonna vary, so don't worry about it.
Oh, okay, I mean,
How about the 1st? Should we check on that? I can call Kelly and see.
Yeah, it'd be like, October 8th, September 12th.
Oh, changing it for this year yet?
I think you have to wait till next year.
Well, this is the
that's
organizational
what-
meeting,
Oh.
July. And that's typically, I would think, when you'd want to discuss things like this. So, I mean, if,
I think
I mean,
Howard said
there's
something
nothing that says we couldn't start it next year.
Here on the calendar, all the meetings.
I think you could change it as long as it's posted. I think I'd asked her that before too. As long as it's posted and you do, I'll ask her what the procedure is. Find out for sure.
So, you know, the first,
Does the 1st sound okay to everybody or?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see if it's approved, if she
Yeah.
approves. We can do that. Okay, the other thing, under new business, there's 2 things. One is, I think we should form a committee, because it's getting late, on, there's a form for proposals for projects. And it's a good form, and I think there's, been more people are coming forward, like we had the library, the toys, and we want to avoid any conflict if we can. So we're just recommending, but they would come to us, and then, based on our recommendation, then it would go, DPW and city council. So if someone would like to work on the form for that, and at the same time, I think the form for the memorials. So I would work on that if we could get like 2 or 3 people.
What is the process, Jeff?
For what?
For like adopting a form like that?
Yeah, how do we do it? So that it's.
So when they come in with a
board and-
proposal,
yeah.
so everybody fills out the exact same form, and it kind of tells the perimeters that we ask for dates and
Yeah, just,
what they're gonna do and how
So
much
that they
it
don't-
costs, the maintenance, the,
It would streamline things.
Yes.
Because they're coming with a
Unify.
form that shows how much the project's gonna cost. You know, like the Boy Scout here, he had to come back. I mean, he didn't come back, but it was requested because he didn't know what he needed because he'd never done it before naturally. And this form would help people walk through that. And then.
But
I
this
don't
is
know
a
if the
form that helps you base your recommendation to the city?
no,
well,
I
it
think it
helps
helps,
you too.
I think it helps the
I don't need a
person,
form.
I think it
Yeah.
actually helps the
See the
person.
form?
I don't need a form.
Oh, okay.
The person who is looking to do a project.
Yeah, it
So
asks,
they come prepared with all the answers.
with the sketch, with the material list, with the proposed start date, proposed finish date, it just kind of
Who
gives,
maintains it after it's
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
It
And
answers
what
all-
materials are they gonna use, it kind of,
guides them through the things.
And it
we
makes-
Think about, like the
Yeah.
young guy did. I mean, he didn't he didn't know what he didn't know, basically. So this helps them.
then the funding, are they gonna self-fund it, or are they gonna ask for volunteer funds? I think a form just makes it so we have something to base our judgment on, but it kind of helps consolidate their information.
Like a guideline.
A guideline,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly,
That's what it is.
I think it's helpful for us to make a decision on
exactly.
what they're asking for us.
Or what
to
they expect of us, or what they're offering.
support, but
You don't think it's needed?
I think if that would help you guys, then you should
I
create
you
it.
don't want that.
Huh?
So you don't need that.
I don't think it's necessary for me, no.
Gotcha.
But that's okay, because
'Cause
they'll come to you,
With-
you
with-
can give them
With
the
all due
form.
respect, those are the questions I ask, and usually there's conversations that happen before it comes to this point.
Yeah. I'll help you with the form.
Okay, thanks. And then we'll get something, we'll bring it back to the next meeting, and we'll look at it and see. I think it would help, like if they come to you first, we'll give you some, and they just kind of fill that out, so then when they come here, everybody's on the same page, if that would be okay.
All the questions are answered.
Yeah, and it might streamline it so it's a little quicker to get it done. Okay, let's see. There was 2 more things, where are we? I think that's basically it. The last thing is elections of officers are due. I think we've done a good job following the bylaws, and that's what we're supposed to do in July. And I think, I've done this for 2 years, I've loved it, I love this group, and I still want to be on it, because I did reapply, but I would like to not be the chair. If someone else would love to do that, it was good, I might do it again down the road, but not this
Well,
time.
we as a
Someone
group-
else would like to do
We
it.
as a group don't agree with you.
Someone else would like to do it.
Again, next year.
I would like to nominate Karen Mao.
I second that.
Dan, no, but you.
I think we gotta ask her if she's willing.
Yeah,
Sure.
okay, there you go. I second the nomination, can I?
Tim already did.
Oh, he did? Man, that was quick.
Yeah.
I got right in there. I like to see my name.
Karen will be excellent, so, and,
So I'd like to nominate Liz for vice chair.
second, fine.
Second, is that cool? Yeah.
And
Would you-
Laney,
Yeah,
yes, thank you.
Third, then, fourth?
Laney for secretary in the case of Katie not being there.
Okay.
Second. Yes.
Second, oh, I'm sorry. Third,
Nobody voted on it.
fourth,
Okay,
Well, I was gonna say, now you have a slate of officers, and you
slate.
can vote on the slate
Okay.
if you wished.
Slate is Karen Prez, me vice, or chair, vice, and secretary for Laney. So is all in favor of a little change here?
aye.
And I don't feel like the males are represented. Can I be a trustee?
Yes, the CEO.
We'd like to be
Do you wanna-
voted as trustees. That's oversight. I'm just joking.
Chief
Nice-
financial officers.
I do, Liz, you've done a great job.
Well,
Thank
I
you.
think that's
And I know
really-
it takes a lot of work to do.
It's
what
a
you
great,
do.
I think we need some young, new ideas and passion, and I still have my passion, but I think it's good to switch, and it's probably the nicest, best group that I have ever worked with, and I don't say that all the time. This is an incredible group. So nobody changed. You've got a life sentence here. When they came and said, I'll be on it again, but maybe the date would work better, a different date. I thought, anything we could do to accommodate each other. I have never
Absolutely, always.
seen anybody volunteer like this, whether it's their time, their money, their energy, and their passion. This is the best group. So
Thank you. Liz.
thank you. It's been
Nice
a great
job,
2
Liz.
years, and I love being it, and I still do everything that I can, but Karen's gonna lead
Congratulations,
it.
Karen.
Yes, congratulations, and Karen is wonderful.
Yes.
Very good.
Okay, the Lions Pavilion, I don't know that we got, the revenue,
It's about 11,000.
woo! So,
Man.
maybe
What about old
someone else could paint the tops of those things higher, or whatever you think, Jeff. We should think about some ideas to improve that need to, that, I think the goal was to spend it on the Lions Pavilion, so.
We're still $239,000 short of building the bathrooms,
That'd be awesome.
We got toilet paper,
130,000
we don't have a bathroom.
plus the 11,000 we've already earned.
Okay,
Yeah.
wow.
Bathrooms on there would be awesome.
That would be.
I would love to see that. And I know we could get a grant for at least half of it, but,
Yes.
yeah.
That would bring in so much more, you know, for.
It is.
It raises it to a different level.
Yes, it's an event
Yeah.
venue then.
Yeah.
So it is neat. The park tour, I think that the park tour, it went very well, and all the city council attended except for one person. It was a great event. It was, good job narrating it, and I think the time of year was the right time. So I think that we should have it. The parks look good, and
Well, I can't,
It
I
wasn't
cannot
half
agree
dark.
with you more on the timing, because when we do it in October,
dark.
it's desolate.
It's
The
dark.
leaves are coming down. It's just kind of a dreary.
You know,
It just
Kids are
doesn't,
back in school.
it doesn't represent what our parks really are. When you go this time of year, and I don't want to give up my evening for that, but it was worthwhile. I enjoyed it. But you got to see people enjoying the parks, and I don't know, it's just a different vibe when you do it.
So I
It
think
was a
we need
nice
to
tour.
keep it.
I think that's the right way, right time.
I
Right.
think so, I agree.
The city council did attend, and in the past, there's only been like 2 of them, so
And-
that was a big,
And in the council meeting that followed, the last council meeting, at least 3 of them brought it up, that they really appreciated it, and
it was
so
nice.
I thought it was good.
Okay, any other comments? Round table. John?
Nope, good. Said it all.
Tim?
Just congratulations on your retirement from chair to vice chair.
Nothing more? Karen?
We skipped old business.
Oh,
Is there
okay.
anything we need, that's my comment. Is there anything we need to talk about for summer 2024 events number 10?
Yeah. Anything more on old business? We talked about a couple more events.
I will say memorials, we're gonna add those chairs fast, and at some point, there's gonna be too many chairs, and we're gonna need to know what the next thing is.
Yes.
Exactly.
So,
I think Laney and I will talk about that when we're talking about the form for the memorials, and I think we do need to have it'd be nice to hand him a list of possible ideas.
And how much?
Well,
Someone might like to donate towards a basketball hoop.
Exactly.
Their son or whatever played basketball, and it would be a contribution towards that, but it'd be.
You you've been to Frankfurt? They have the swings, you know, the bench swings.
Yeah.
It's really kind of cool.
Yes.
I mean, they got a couple of those that really be really nice on our beach. Just, you know, like
Yeah.
you said, consider a couple
Just to
other
consider
options.
other options.
Might be a little bit more expensive, but.
You got 2 people.
and then I just had a thought, I'm sorry to interrupt, but when the Catamaran Racing Association was here last weekend, I hope you guys got to see them out sailing with all the colors, and I just love that. But when they set up kind of their headquarters down in the old kite flying area, that's how I know it. And I said, oh my gosh, they always request a fire pit. And then I'm like, you know what, we just finished the new one, bring that down there, we'll put it in the middle and let them use it over the weekend. And I've got it sitting there. I don't know if you've noticed it or wondered what that rocket looking thing is.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the second creation that Tanner made. But I even think some Adirondack chairs surrounding that and making that like a little campfire, little space or something.
Maybe the 4 new one, they do that in Midland. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah,
So
I'm,
when-
the 4 new ones there.
maybe there's needs at other parks. Not that they won't have the good view, but, you know, I don't know. Like that swing thing would be really nice in some of those parks that don't have the view.
Yeah, I can't picture that. Sometime when somebody sees that, send me snap a photo and so I can see. Yeah,
But yeah, we go up there all the time.
okay.
I like that.
But, yeah, we don't have to make the decisions tonight, but we need to think about the next thing and maybe the thing after that.
Chairs would be great around that. I would do that because you don't always have your beach chairs if you're visiting from out of town. You might not have brought those with everything else. So I.
Well, people are very sensitive into where that goes, because they want to know where it is and they want to be able to visit it. So, but if we said, you know what, maybe we do some white ones around that area, or actually, the first one that was bought at Fifth Avenue, they bought a blue one because they thought it was beautiful, and when we saw it, we're like, holy crap, that's beautiful. But the day before was our park tour, and I told you we were gonna have red, so we had to take it back and swap it out. And then we had to call the woman who purchased it and say, hey, you know, it's gotta be red. And she was really cool about it, but, you know, something like that could be a different opportunity for just a little, I don't know.
I would like mine around the bonfire, so maybe someone would like that location.
Right, but I'm saying,
Yeah,
if you guys thought that was a good idea,
Yes.
we could say, well, we've got 3 sites. We could put them around here, or we could put them along there, or we can go to Fifth Avenue, and, you know, at some point, because the people requested the Lions area, so we're gonna put those along the channel sides. Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
You're gonna block the view pretty soon.
it's gonna get cluttered, but, and what we did at Fifth Avenue is we had the one chair, and I said, well, as soon as somebody sees that they're gonna be more of those. But the one, I was concerned I was gonna look weird, so we purchased another one, just speculatively, and then we already had somebody purchase a memorial for that one.
Perfect, yeah.
So, but I'm saying maybe we front load and do a couple or 3, 4 around that fire pit or something, and then let that grow or something, you know?
Good idea.
Yeah. Okay, anything else we missed?
I passed.
Okay, we're on, did you pass, Karen, or you said old business?
I think she needs to accept her new role as chair.
Congratulations.
Look forward
Thank you.
to serving you all and
Yep.
harmony.
Yeah. I just have to say that I had people from downstate come up here, and they were wowed by everything that was going on for the 4th of July, just wowed. And they made a comment about the agility run at the dog park. And did you know that there's a tetherball in there for dogs?
Yes.
Is that cool or
Yeah.
what? I like it.
Doesn't glow in the dark, though.
No. Oh, well, can't have everything for the dogs, right? How cool though. So it was good to hear that. And I'm done.
I didn't have anything else.
Katie, you got anything? No? Jeff, you done?
I'm just happy all the synergy we've got going.
Absolutely.
I'm
Isn't that
really
nice?
happy.
Energy's always
Yeah.
good, yeah.
It's a-
Dan, did you have anything?
Oh, I did think of
Oh,
something.
I would like to talk with Jeff about the bleachers that we
Okay.
Did you go any further on that kayak rental thing?
Oh, good question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You guys got any trash?
but, uh-oh.
Not yet.
I believe the decision from above was to discuss it over the winter, spring for implementation next year.
Okay.
So it's not dead, just
Yeah.
didn't get it in.
Yeah, I can tell, but it's
And,
not that.
and I think there was some, well, Arcadia just installed theirs. We could actually see
Yeah.
how well that's doing, and
Yeah,
then we can kind of go from there, so.
makes sense.
No further business, is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
Adjourn, thank you.
Done, out. Cool.